Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video will be featuring the accessories I used in my Cleopatra cosplay wedding dress. This one is actually all about the accessories. This will include the headband, the earrings, the necklace, and the brooch on the dress. No, I did not make the choker. I bought that at a Goodwill, and everything took a little bit of time, and that's why I'm making this video. Everything is as accurate as I can get it. The only things I don't have in this video are the bangles and the choker in the picture. It was actually a really hard challenge to be able to make these pieces of jewelry, and I've been crafting jewelry for most of my life, about 20 years or so. And I had to be very creative to mimic everything, and I didn't even use a soldering gun. You can find most of these products at your local Joann's to be able to make these. You might get lucky and you might find some of the similar items at Michael's as well, because they have a bigger jewelry aisle. Some of the items that I used that I had in my jewelry stash was a broken pin, some beads, and a bangle. And when I mean bangle, you know those bracelets that we all wore in the 90s? Yeah, I tore apart one of those and used it in the necklace. Per usual, make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already for more awesome DIYs and cosplay goodness. If you have any questions about how I did this or anything, make sure to stay tuned. And if you need extra help, message me down below. Now, let's get started on this wonderful tutorial. I just want to put a disclaimer out there. I know that this fabric is yellow, but please don't let that deter you from continuing this tutorial. So anyways, cut out a strip of fabric larger than your headband. You want a medium headband thickness, and you want a hot glue gun. Begin hot gluing one of the starting edges of the headband to the fabric, and then slowly hold the fabric to the headband. Take one of the edges and begin hot gluing the headband inside and fold the edge in. This will secure the fabric on the inside, and you won't have any nasty ridges on the outside when gluing this down. Repeat on both sides and cover the headband entirely until you are finished. The base of the headband is finished. Now you just need to add the accessories. Realize this is the fabric in gold, and it's a gold lame. Now I will be using this little ring. I got this in the purse section of Joann's, and then I will be using this flat jewelry wire. This flat jewelry wire is in a very costumey gold versus like an ancient kind of gold, and that's the look that we're going for. So make sure that you get the same colors of your wire and your gold ring. Make sure it's thick enough and everything like that, so it is similar to the headband picture. So if you can see, there's multiple little lines on the headband and on the ring. Use your headband as a guide and start taking out your wire and maybe some pliers or some cutters. And we are going to map out where we need to place the design. Overall, I used about 15 different sized little wire pieces. And if you look at the actual picture again, it actually has one on the ring. So make sure to make an extra smaller one to go on the ring. So now, after looking at the picture, it seems like I can get away with longer ones being on it and without having to recut them. And I'm going to be using my universal adhesive, or E6000, to attach these onto the headband. And I'm following the pattern, and I'm going to go some on top in various lengths and some underneath at the bottom of the headband. These are very delicate, so you need to make sure that you give them a lot of glue if they're underneath so it doesn't get tangled. And if you're going to have any other problems, you can always resort to hot glue. If you see here, you can totally see that a lot of the little spikes on top are at varying different locations. So have fun and play with it. Obviously, I followed where it stood, so some will be on the top and then some will be on the inside of the headband. Make sure you give it ample amount to dry so it does not flake off. When I was doing this, I definitely recommend starting with the middle piece and then working your way from there. Some headbands aren't as long as others, so you want to make sure that you have enough space to be able to add the circle ring at the end, and you want to be able to add the rest of the spikes on the headband. Now that the headband is drying, I will be using this old brooch pin that I have, and it's broken because there's no brooch on it, otherwise it would be perfect. And now I'm going to take off one of these circly rings from a broken, I think this was from an earring. You just need a nice little circly ring that's big enough to go around your brooch, and that's because we're going to recreate the brooch for the middle of the dress. So I think I'm using this large ring here, and I'm just going to remove it using some pliers. Now that it's removed, I really wanted to still use this brooch pattern, so I'm looking at it and I'm trying to play with the configuration. Unfortunately, it wasn't the same way that I wanted, just like the picture design, and so I tore it apart. I carefully took my pliers and I began twisting and bending it back and forth. This actually had one too many little spikes on it, or flower petals on it, so I began just to work it all off of the base and keep 3 at the top, then add 2 at the bottom. So slowly working my way, I'm taking it apart. If you can find a nice little pendant piece that has 6 petals, that will work better than having to deconstruct a broken brooch like I had to do. Now that I've finished breaking off those pieces and now I like how it looks, I'm going to reattach all of those pieces to the big piece and make it a 6-flower petal or little star thingy. I'm attaching it using E6000, my glue of choice. Here in Denmark, it's just a universal adhesive. So I'm going to slowly attach it, and then I'm going to center it on the little ring. I used a little bit of the flat wire to make sure that it has more stability, and then I can add a pin backing to the back once it's done drawing. Now with the pin drying and the headband drying as well, I'm going to be moving on to the earrings. I'm going to be using the wire again and some teardropped blue and pink beads. These beads I got in Los Angeles Fashion District years ago and the store closed, so good luck finding these, or if you could find something similar. Begin by creating a circle shape large enough to fit the beads in it, and if you get different size beads, make sure that your beads fit inside this loop. If it's smaller, fine. If it's larger, that's fine too. She's got very big earrings. So play around with this design to make sure that the beads all fit, and once it does, clip your wire first, create it in a loop, sealing it with your E6000. Create 2 of the same loops, so before you glue it down, make sure to create a second one. I'm using extra wire so that it will stay in place while it's drying. While it's drying, I'm going to begin making the wire frame, or the wire inside, for the other earring, and I believe this is the left earring. The left earring has a very interesting little pattern. So make sure that pattern can fit inside the earring hoop and it has a little bit of extra give so that you can glue it in and make sure it stays. There's 2 pieces to this and they are both L shapes. Once I had the base shape, the bigger L shape finished, I secured it in the hoop with the E6000. So I went ahead and finished the earrings. This is what it looks like. Unfortunately, my camera died, so I'm just refilming it. This is what the right earring looks like. I positioned all of the beads down and then I just slapped tons of E6000 and slowly let it dry. And make sure it does dry and you use the right type of glue, because I did use the wrong type. And then I put a nice little green bead in the middle and make sure it's transparent. I used 2 jump rings to be able to attach the earring hook onto it so it will become an earring. And I just used regular E6000 as well. You can clean it up using a Q-tip, a little moistened, and it will totally get rid of the threads. Here is the other earring. This is the left earring. Like I said, you wanted the little metal piece to go across, kind of like cutting into a giant pizza, and then you wanted a half little one to go across again. And this one, you just have to eyeball it and figure out how big your circle is and just fold and pull. I also used 2 jump rings here and an earring hook. That way I can wear it like an earring and it dangles nicely. This one was honestly the easier of the 2 earrings to create. I just cut 2 pieces of wire and folded them inward and then glued them together, and that's the earrings. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments down below. I know I don't have a lot of footage on that one. Now the biggest downfall is I don't have a lot of footage of me assembling this necklace piece, but the piece is very, very difficult. I actually used a button and then I painted it with blue nail polish, and you can see it here because the inside is red. Originally it's red. I used 2 bangles. One was a really circular metal one as the base, and then I used a second one on the outside using the flat metal on the inside encompassing it. I used the same beads as the earrings on this piece here, and I used it for the dangly as well. I'll go into more detail on how I made this, but I did miss a few of the pieces. Here is the actual disc that I've created. The created disc looks like this with the 2 bracelets and the beaded pieces. I only used pink beads and painted the back with gold nail polish. And I clearly painted the little red part. It's a button. And I painted it with blue. So now I'm going to take out that flat wire metal and I'm going to be making several small little centimeter marks. This is going to go around the perimeter of that medallion necklace piece. We're going to be using about 20 maybe, depending on how you get your bracelets, or if you just get a nice bag purse piece that's large enough. I've seen a few at Joann's, but obviously I don't have it here. And I'm just going to be using this, and it's going to go all around this metal piece. And we're going to be attaching it using E6000, and make sure it covers it completely with a little gap in between. Honestly, a lot of the pieces did not want to stay flat because of the bracelets not being the same length as the flat metal piece, but that's okay. You can opt to use hot glue instead here. Hot glue is a good alternative if you don't have E6000. I'm using E6000 because I know it works for jewelry really well. And you can see I'm just slowly positioning and placing it here. With hot glue, be sure to make sure you don't get any spider webs, and just keep on placing. I tried to be strategic with this, but honestly it didn't matter at the end of the day because a lot of the pieces started to fall off when I tried test wearing it. So just make sure that all your pieces are secure and it fully goes around the perimeter of the medallion. While the medallion is drying, I got these pearl Cobacons, and they're just like flat back little pearls. I'm going to take out 2 large ones and 2 medium ones. Then I'm going to be painting it with blue nail polish. Now once everything has dried, and you can see that a few of my pieces of the gold have fallen off, begin to center out where you want to put your large blue Cobacons now, or your blue gems, and then place it on using E6000 or hot glue. Me, I'm using my universal adhesive similar to E6000. Make sure you have enough space for the medium-sized little blue shells now to go on. It's not exactly really close to the big one, but it's a little bit of space away. So make sure that there's a gap in between, and if you mess up, make sure that your glue is forgiving. Just like E6000, hot glue, you could just pull it off and then reapply. And let it dry. While it was drying, I decided to make a little bit more of those little small pieces around the perimeter, and I used glue and I placed it under and let it sit. While that was also drying, I also added more nail polish on top of the Kobokons because when I was gluing it, some of it came off. So this is a good time to add a little bit of touch-up and then get some chain out and attach it using a jump ring and hot glue. Make sure you have a smaller chain for the bead at the bottom of your medallion and attach that as well, and then you are finished with all your accessories. And it looks like this when you're done. I hope you really enjoyed my tutorial, and I hope this helps you get an idea of how to make Cleopatra's accessories. Obviously, this isn't all of her accessories. I'm missing her armbands and her bracelets, but if you need help making that, leave me a comment down below saying that you would like to see it and see more videos like this. If you did like this video, make sure to click that like button so I know in the future that you want to see more awesome cosplay recreations for yourself and for future events. Also, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in a future video. Thanks so much for watching again. I can't say thank you enough for supporting me. Alright, bye!